Good evening and welcome to Sporlitiks, where sports and politics mix and mingle. I'm Stacey Johnson. Joining me tonight, guess who it is? It is Oguna, the voice of reason. Keith, the constitutional conservative. Stephen, the independent thinker. And late as usual, my cousin Todd. We've got a packed show for you tonight. The ceasefire did not hold between Israel and Hamas. And then you must ask the question, will Elon Musk cancel your Social Security payments? The madness begins, March Madness, that is, tonight, to see who will play. The winner of tonight's game will play number 1, Auburn. Chief Justice Roberts rebukes President Trump and the GOP rhetoric about impeaching judges. Stephen with NASCAR. Federal judge blocks dismantling of the USAID. And the U.S. plans to fire 80,000 veteran affairs workers as part of Trump's cuts, sparking a huge backlash. A government shutdown was avoided. We will talk about how. And President Trump launches a large-scale military attack on Yemen's Houthis. As we did not talk about, we're going back to talk about Rep. Al Green from Houston, who blames invidious discrimination for being censored after disrupting President Trump's speech. And Brandon Graham, Philadelphia Eagle, he took us to 2 Super Bowls, is returned. I'm sure Guna has a lot to say about that. First up, Stephen, I don't have any NASCAR video for you this week.
Well, I can just go through it for you, Stacey. This is last week I do believe I said Josh Berry has done really well. He got 4th place last week. This week I thought he was going to do pretty good, but he just great racer. First time I've been in this car it's this year. He won the race. Bell, who had won 3 in a row, had a real opportunity to win this race. He just made a couple of mistakes. He got a penalty speed, and he got a penalty. One time he went in the pits. He went in his teammates' pits when he's supposed to go in his own. If that hadn't happened, he was finished somewhere around 11th or 12th. If those 2 things wouldn't have happened, he would have been competitive. Now he's going to a track next week that's going to be the Homestead. It's where he one of his best tracks. So it's going to be another great race. But Pure Later team is Josh Berry's team. They've been there since, the Pure Later is one of the sponsors, but it's the Wood Brothers Racing. They've been there since 1950. They are the oldest racing team in NASCAR. And to be this competitive and have Josh Berry in the points right now, he's 3rd in the points. To be this competitive this soon says a lot about what they did on the offseason, which is great. I love this driver. I've loved this team since I was a kid. The first driver they had was A.J. Foyt, Donnie Allison. Then they had David Pearson, which was my favorite driver, basically 70s, and Neil Bonnet. And a bunch of people that in between. But this Josh Berry kid is making everybody happy over there. And it's it's a company that was, I said my dad and his a friend of his used to dabble in racing a little bit. And they had a little bit of run-ins with the Wood Brothers. So it's kind of special to me. It's pretty nice. It's a great win. And he's a great future, and he can do well here as well. He's a top 5 driver here. So it's really, really competitive, really nice. And it's nice to see one team doesn't have a lot going for them, financially as some of the other bigger teams. And it's hard when you don't have teammates, You're out there all alone at some of the tracks. So it's nice. It's really nice. So it's a good week. Next week is Homestead. It'll start a little earlier, at 2:30, I think. But it's been really good this year. I've really enjoyed racing, and I hope y'all have checked it out a little bit.
Okay, thank you. Keith, you wanted to talk a little bit about baseball and specifically the LA Dodgers, right?
Yeah,
What do you say?
I don't know if everybody will be happy with what I have to say, but I tell you one thing, idol worship is very prevalent here in Los Angeles. I mean, what I mean by that is that, we have these we have this new stadium called the Intuit, and I don't even know where they got the name from. Intuit, just like crypto.
Maybe you have to be into it.
I think it's a
Yeah,
brand of something.
It's a company, right?
Yeah, it's a company. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Intuit.
Intuit is a company.
Yeah, okay. So anyway,
They
they're in
sponsor the
Inglewood,
stadium.
California. That's where they have all these new stadiums. Well, they got a couple of new stadiums, the crypto stadium or whatever you call that. Anyway, the whole point is that you got this stadium and it's a huge screen. I mean, I've seen it before. It's incredible. I mean, the screen is so large and it's almost like a 3D image. I mean, it gives you this wonderful, beautiful image. And there were more people that attended that stadium at 3 o'clock in the morning than people that attend the stadium live. And I thought, wow, these people are real baseball fanatics. But anyway, that's just the way it is. If you
So
like baseball, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
the
But
Intuit, the Intuit is this 360-degree dome where you can
yeah,
watch movies and sporting events. They have one in Inglewood. They have one in Dallas. I think they're opening up all around the country. So it's like a new
yeah,
sporting venue experience, and you can literally immerses you in the stadium. So if they're playing over in Japan, the way they set up their cameras in the stadium over in Japan, you have this whole 360 live view. And they had one in Dallas. They have one in Dallas. They're opening. So Steve, Keith, they don't fit the same amount of people as Dodger Stadium, so it's not like they have. There's no way
okay,
they could have had more people, but I get the exaggeration. At the end of the day, it's just something new. It's a new virtual. We're going to this virtual environment. So from a technology and fan experience standpoint, the whole VR craze is taking off. So, and I know during the Super Bowl, you could go in there and watch the games, and you had to pay thousands of dollars to watch it in that experience. And then of course you got drinks and bar and everything like that, and they got DJs and stuff. So part of that is the modern or the gentrification or whatever of Inglewood, because they're putting a lot of the stadiums. They got a casino down there. Of course, they already had SoFi there, and the World Cup will be coming there in a couple of years. So it's going to be one of the and the Olympics, right? So you got a lot of things coming to um, South Central LA. So that's
but I
that's
mean,
actually a good
but
thing.
hey, Guna, I mean, if you think about 3 o'clock in the morning, my God, our time, our time, that's pretty. That's
Yeah, well,
interesting.
that's what happens when you have World Cups. I mean, when they had World Cups in Qatar, and you were up early because again, it's in Asia or whatever, right? So it's like
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just that's just me.
you're not that big into sports, so you're not a global sports fan. So you
Oh,
gotta get out
You
and live
call
a
it
little.
idol. You call it idol worship.
that's right, Stephen. That's what
But
I
I
Idol
call
mean,
worship. What are
can
you
they
talking about?
can they just be like fans?
No, it's idol worship. That's okay. But anyway, all right.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you,
that's what I
Keith.
get.
So don't go to
Aguna.
any sporting events.
Aguna. The NFL and
Yeah,
the Philadelphia Eagles, NFL Super Bowl champions.
it feels good, don't it? I mean, this off season has been awesome. Now, number one was great, but number two is even better. And I know there's a lot of angst around the off season because there's a lot of turnover with free agency and players leaving and things like that. But for the first time in a long time, the Eagles are in a very great position. They have cap space. Their team is young. They have a young defense. They have consistency at the D coordinator um, coaching position. They have consistency on the O line coaching position, which is why I'm not worried about some of the departures that have happened. And I think, Stacey, you were talking about Brandon Graham and how after 15 years, he decided to retire as a two-time Super Bowl champion. And I think everybody knew it was coming. I think he went from Michigan drafting from Michigan as a bust because they thought he wasn't really going to amount to much in the league. He's a little undersized. At one point, they were talking about moving on from him because he was one of the original ones that came under the Andy Reid era. He survived Chip Kelly, he survived Doug Peterson, and now along with Sirianni. So he was able to contribute a lot over the last several years. So it's going to be definitely different. He was a voice in the locker room. He made that big play in Super Bowl 57 for the Eagles to win that. And of course, he came up big and he played by coming back from injury to play in this recent Super Bowl 59. And so it has his last game as the Eagle being a Super Bowl champion. He made a tackle, he tackled Patrick Mahomes. So it's a really good thing to see. I hate to see him go, but it was about that time. He's a great contributor, Walter Payton Man of the Year, 2-time Super Bowl champion, Pro Bowler, great family man. So he was really a pillar of strength and a role model for a lot of the young guys that have come and played for the Philadelphia Eagles in the last 15 years. So definitely appreciate his contribution. I look forward to seeing him in the Hall of Fame. Let's look at his numbers to see if we can get him in there. But yeah, I mean, being a 2-time Super Bowl champion will help.
Also, let me say that he's young. They act like they talk. I remember they say who talks a bunch of trash, and they asked the NFL Eagle players which ones on the team talk the most trash, and they said BG. They called him Brandon Graham. They said BG, but they would say he's an old man. He's 35. He's not an old man. But
he's a little bit old.
To 20-something-year-olds, they think that's old. It's like he still has a whole life ahead of him. He can do a whole nother second career. People, they go into the military, they do a whole 20 years, and then they retire from the military and they start a whole nother career. And that's almost like what Brandon Graham is doing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in the league this long, you're a vet. If you're in the league and you're over 35, when you get on that side of 30, you're looking at, because the average NFL career is 3 years. So if you're in the league after the age of 30, consider yourself lucky and to reach 35. Again, you're basically he pretty much had 5 careers in the NFL, because the average career is about 3 years. You get in, you're lucky to make the practice squad, you're lucky to get the active roster, and then longevity around making the game and staying in the game, it's actually an exception and not the norm. So yeah, he and then at that position, the DN position, you're getting hammered on by these 300 some odd plus offensive linemen, and that takes a toll on you as well. So
and he fought back. Remember, he fought back this season. He was afraid that he was not going to make it to the actual Super Bowl game because he had gotten injured. But he just worked hard. He really rehabbed, and he was able to come in and play. And I remember during the parade, he got up there and he was saying he wanted to stay longer. And I'm sure, during that time when everyone was so crazily enthusiastic, he did. But realistically, it probably isn't healthy for him to stay longer. He had a great career. He had 2 Super Bowl wins. He had some great sacks during the Super Bowl. He survived a lot of different coaches. So, Pro Bowler, he's probably going to be in the Hall of Fame. Awesome career. He's truly blessed. And we are blessed as Philadelphia Eagles fans to have had him here in Philadelphia.
Yeah. What else did he have to prove? I mean, he already went out on top. So what else you got to prove? You're going to come back and get 3? Maybe. So
yeah, he's happy and he's healthy, so that's the way to go. Go out on top. That's the only way to go.
Exactly.
Go out on top. All right. Anything else with sports? Oh, March Madness. I almost.
It starts tonight, right?
Yes. Let me.
The playing games start tonight. I still, I don't know if I'm gonna do a bracket. I may do a bracket once we get to the
win the NCAA men's Division I basketball tournament, according to our friends at FanDuel. And just like our friends at Sportsline, who think that we're going to get an all 1-seed Final Four for the first time since 2008, the 4 teams with the shortest odds to win the whole thing are your 4 number 1 seeds, but not in order of the seeds. Duke with the shortest odds. Auburn at plus 500 has the 3rd shortest odds, but they are the number 1 overall seed in this year's NCAA tournament. Russ Taylor back here on the HQ with Mackenzie Brooks of Sportsline. We were just talking about that. The number 1 seeds, Sportsline agrees, they're the number 1 seeds, and they're worthy of making the Final Four. Some of the other seeds, I think you guys don't necessarily agree with, right?
There's a couple red flags raised,
Okay, we can we can have our own. Aguna, you never do the brackets. I ask you every year, Aguna, you gonna do a bracket? Aguna, you gonna do a bracket?
And then I forget about it because I'm
Never
always
does a
working at
bracket.
something. Always working at something, and it catches up with me. So
Right. So and after a while, if you all noticed, we just really kind of after it got to different seeds, we kind of predicted on the show who would make what, and who would make it past the, Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 and the Final 4. So we'll just do the same thing again this year. How about that?
Sounds good. Do you want to pick your Final Four now, or who's going to win it? Or?
You can.
I gotta do my research. I may have to go with Duke.
I gotta do research before I do that.
I gotta go with Duke.
Oh, okay.
Maybe Michigan State. I don't know. I don't know about Michigan State.
All right.
I don't know.
Let me see. I'm trying to get the bracket up now. So that we can.
You might go Auburn.
Yeah,
Stacey?
I'll probably go Auburn. Auburn.
Auburn. I said Auburn.
All right, so let me make this a little bit bigger. The bracket I couldn't get up, but this is just as good as a bracket because what it's showing is who's playing who, right?
Mm-hmm.
So can you see that, or should I make it a little bigger?
A little bit.
A bit bigger. Okay. How about that? So we've got Tuesday, March 18th. If you can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama State versus St. Francis. It already started. And San Diego State versus North Carolina. You could tell us, who do you have? Starting with you, Stephen. Go ahead.
You have to go with Alabama State on that one, as much as I know about the St. Francis team. I wouldn't go with them. I'd go with South Alabama.
Okay.
I mean, Alabama State. Yeah.
Alabama State. Well, yeah. Well, I don't know. Alabama State, that's the SWAC, correct? Is that the SWAC? That's the SWAC.
I think so.
I'm going to go with the SWAC. Just so, and even though St. Francis will probably win. Is that game already going on? Is it already happening?
She said it is.
Who's winning?
Alabama's won 3 more games.
So I think I'm showing it right now. Let's see what it is. There's an add-on.
Is it way up?
Oh, it's 55 to 54.
Oh, man, it's coming down to it.
Good game.
St. Francis is going to pull that one off.
Yeah, I was going to say St. Francis, actually.
How much time is left?
I should never trust a SWAC team.
7 minutes.
How many?
7 minutes.
And what's the score? 1 point difference?
No, it's a 4-point difference.
No, now it's 3
they just hit a 3.
St. Francis is good.
Yeah, St. Francis about to run away with it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I said I was going to say St. Francis, but I never got a chance. So I'm going to stop sharing that, and let's go back to our. Yeah, sorry. Let's go back to.
So the North Carolina plays today?
We are so out of touch. So that's the 18th. So wait a minute. That's the 18th, which is today, right? Then tomorrow.
Wait.
No, San Diego State versus North Carolina at 9:10 p.m.
Oh, wow. So they got the 11 seeds going.
So who's got San Diego State and North Carolina? I got North Carolina.
This is to get into the 11th seed.
To get in, yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to go with North Carolina.
All right.
I think, wouldn't this be like, if they missed the field of 24, isn't this like one of the few leap years that they ever missed?
I don't know.
Or if they were to lose. So I'm going with North Carolina. I'm going with the name.
All right, Stephen?
Oh, I'm going to have to go to North Carolina as well.
I'm going to go to North Carolina. Welcome, Greg.
Hello,
nice to see you again. We're talking about the 2025
Great.
Madness, San Diego State versus North Carolina. Who you got?
Well, I got North Carolina.
Yeah, we all got North Carolina.
Yeah,
I didn't even ask.
You want
to predict, Keith?
Say again?
Did you want to make a prediction?
No.
He picks Jesus.
You ought to take San Diego since you're out that way, man. We're all taking North Carolina because we're all out this way.
Okay. All
So you have San Diego.
right, Steven. Steven's a
All
good
right.
man.
Whatever Steven say, he on
Okay, then let's go down to American University versus Mount St. Mary's and Texas versus Xavier. That's tomorrow night. Aguna, who you got for American versus Mount St. Mary's?
Who and who?
American
the hell
University
This
versus
is
Mount St. Mary.
Mount St. Mary's is out of a hospital. They're a hospital team.
there a bunch of orderlies playing. I mean,
Yeah,
American.
that's what it is. They all have white
University.
little nurse shoes.
I'll go with DC. I mean, who knows? I don't even know where Mount St. Mary's is.
Okay, Steven.
Yeah, I'm going with American.
Keith.
Like I said, I don't know.
You
You
go
guys,
with American. Make
Go
America
with American because you're pulling for America.
okay, there you go.
Greg.
Whatever you
I'm
say,
going with
boss.
Mount St. Mary's.
I'm going with Mount St. Mary's too.
That's right. That's right.
Texas versus Xavier tomorrow. Aguna.
Texas.
Steven.
Xavier.
Keith.
She keeps calling me.
Moses. He goes with Moses.
I don't know what I'm talking about here, so
Okay,
I can't.
Greg.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Texas.
I'm going with Xavier.
Man, Stacy's on my side.
Stacey, are you tracking this or you just
I'm tracking it in my head. And then Thursday, look at all the games we have Thursday.
Please don't let us go through that. Don't let
There
us
we
go
go.
through this, Stacey. Come on
Well,
now.
it's
You
recorded.
guys keep
Remember,
going.
this is recorded.
All right.
You can pull
Let's
the
hurry up.
clip
Let's
up.
do round robin. I'm going with Louisville.
Okay. Come on, Steven.
Where are we at? Which team?
The first one up here. You see
Did
it?
I just do the whole list and just
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm going with Louis. I'm going with Louisville as well.
Go ahead, Aguna. Let's do the whole list for each person. Go ahead.
Okay,
Aguna.
so I'm going with Louisville. I'm going with Purdue. I'm going Wisconsin over Montana. I'm gonna go with the 1 seeds. No one's lost in the first round. Yeah, I'm going with Houston. I'm going with Auburn. Of course, Auburn's gonna beat St. Francis. McNeese. I may go with McNeese over Clemson. I need a bracket buster. All right. I don't have faith in Clemson. I don't like Clemson because I'm a Carolina Gamecock fan. All right. So I'm gonna go with the bracket buster there with McNeese. And I'm going with BYU. Oh, actually, no, I'm going with VCU. I gotta stay.
Come on.
Yeah.
Gonzaga versus Georgia. Oh Lord.
Yeah. Georgia all day.
I'm gonna go with Georgia. I'm gonna go with Georgia on that one. I'm gonna go with Tennessee over Wofford. I'm gonna go with Kansas over Arkansas. Ain't no way A&M losing to Yale. Missouri. I need a bracket buster in here too. I'm going with Michigan. I'm gonna go with Texas Tech over UNC Wilmington. Even though that may be a game to watch because a lot of times Texas Tech don't have the strongest basketball team. But anyway, all right, that's all I got. I'm clear.
You didn't say Michigan, San Diego, St. John's, Omaha. You skipped all that.
I don't see all that. What is it? I see Michigan, UCLA. All right, whatever. I'm done.
All right, you're done. Steven. Wait a minute. Because I made it too big. You didn't get to Wednesday. Wait, I gotta go back to Wednesday. Okay. Oh no,
we did Wednesday.
We just send out a link. We just go ahead and okay. Go ahead.
I got Louisville, Purdue, Wisconsin, Houston, Auburn, Clemson, BYU, no, VCU, Gonzaga, Tennessee, Kansas, Texas A&M, Missouri, UCLA, St. John's, Michigan, and Texas Tech.
Okay, Greg.
All right, let me give you all this winning bracket here. Give me Louisville.
Let me get my pen.
Purdue, Wisconsin, Houston, Auburn, Clemson, Let me see. VCU, Georgia, Tennessee. I'm actually gonna pick Arkansas, Texas A&M, Missouri, UCLA, St. John's, Michigan, and UNC. I'm looking for an upset right there.
All right.
UNC
I'm gonna
wins.
change I'm gonna go with Kendrick Lamar over Drake.
Nah.
All right. I'm gonna go with Creighton, Purdue,
Oh,
Wisconsin,
Creighton. Okay.
Houston, Auburn, Clemson, BYU, Gonzaga, Tennessee, Arkansas, Texas A&M, Missouri. I'm going to regret that. I think Drake is going to beat Missouri. Let me go with Drake. That's going to be my bracket buster.
They're not like us.
UCLA, St. John's, Michigan, and UNC Wilmington.
Be
So that's
bold.
where we'll stop because I know people like Todd and all are going to get bored. We're going to stop there.
Where's Todd? Todd's still trying to get his outfit on. Oh man, here
Yeah.
he comes. Oh yeah.
You called
Is
it.
that hair?
Todd Slosovic.
Looks
He
like,
got the little
Todd
Ruski
is,
hat on, man. What's
Todd
going
is
on,
Russian.
man?
what's
He's
up?
Russian.
Toddlin Putin.
Todd is
right.
Russian. They got
So-
some breaking news, Stacy. Breaking news.
What's the breaking news, Keith?
Well, they just touched down in the Gulf of America. The astronauts that have been
They
rescued
did that a couple
by
hours
Trump
ago.
and,
That's 3 hours ago.
Hey, man, what is?
That
You
was
just want to
3
say
hours
Gulf
ago.
of America. Dude, you are showing your fanaticism, Keith.
I know, right?
All right. So let me move on. Israel bombed Hamas. Aguna, let's talk about how they broke the ceasefire and what that means for the release of the remaining hostages.
Well, I mean, the hostages were never a priority anyway. I think part of this, once the war continued to go on, it was clear that, especially from the Israeli perspective, they wanted to annihilate Hamas, right? So, and apparently there was some issue with the hostages or with the release or with something with the ceasefire or whatever. So it got escalated. And over 400 people have been killed so far in the airstrikes. So yeah, this was going to be. I don't see any other way out of this now that the gloves have come off. I know with that region, you still got Hezbollah, you still got Lebanon, Syria. So this is just one of those things where, you know, especially if you're a Palestinian, I mean, you're not getting any relief from not only this administration but from the Israelis. They're going to go in there and they're going to eradicate the threat from their perspective. So again, there was this little commercial about Trump Plaza in Gaza or whatever like that. And I mean, ultimately, we no matter whether you agree with that or not, that's where it's going to go to, because I don't see any way that the Gaza Strip survives this for the rest of this altercation. I mean, it's just a matter of time at this point.
Keith?
Well, I do think that Israel is emboldened because they have Trump behind their back. Trump is going to back them up, whereas Biden would not back them up to the degree that Trump is, especially when Trump already promised. Remember, Trump has already threatened Hamas, saying, if you don't return our prisoners, if you don't return the hostages, there's going to be hell to pay. I mean, you're going to pay the price. So that, I think, emboldened Israel, and so they have begun again to. The ceasefire is over because they haven't returned the prisoners. They have not returned some of the hostages.
Steven.
So they broke the deal.
Yeah, that's all they had to do was return the hostages. I think it's one of the silliest things I've ever heard a Guna say, that they really didn't have to prioritize the hostages.
They did. So if they
Of course
prioritize
they
the
did.
hostages,
No,
why
no,
are they
no.
hitting
But they
wrong?
did. But say that.
Or,
That just shows
or if you're
that shows a
bombing
bias.
where the
That just shows
hostages
your
are,
bias.
how is that
That's all. No, they
prioritizing
did. And if they have gotten their
if
if
you're
One
they've
at a
gotten their
bombing,
time.
if
One at
if
a
they
time.
had gotten
Let him
if
finish.
they had gotten their hostages, the war would be over. That's what they said. Give us all of our hostages now, and they didn't do
bombing
it.
where the
So,
hostages are.
like you said, Aguna, you don't have to root for them, but they've
Not
already
rooting
signed their own
for 'em.
death.
They had no,
They already signed their own death certificate. They of course they wanted their hostages. All of those people being treated really poorly, Aguna, and everybody wanted them back. To say that is unbelievable.
You didn't even listen to what I
Insane.
said.
That's like
You
saying we
didn't
know
even
what was
listen to
going
what I
on.
said.
Why are you
Don't
still talking? I'm
misrepresent what I
talking.
said.
But this is not a conversation. I was talking. Why would they?
Stacey,
It's like going into Nazi Germany and saying we know where all these people are, but we don't want to get them back. It doesn't. Nothing makes any sense of what you're saying. Of course we want our hostages back. Of course we want innocent people back. That's what it's all about. Israel didn't go in there and take people and rape them and kill them and kill babies in front of their parents and torture them this whole time. Israel didn't do that. That's what these people did. And
They
you're right,
didn't.
Aguna, on the other thing. Trump
Are you
Tower, whatever
sure?
goes there needs to
Thank
be
you,
there.
Stephen.
Israel
Okay.
needs somebody there that's not going to try to wipe them off the face of
Thank
the
you,
earth.
Stephen.
Thank you,
Stacey,
Stacey.
let me clarify what I said before this Yahoo over here misrepresents it. I didn't
We
say
can turn the tape back.
They didn't.
We can just turn the tape back, Aguna.
Israel did not prioritize the hostages. That's why there are Israelis in Israel right now protesting Netanyahu because they feel that he isn't prioritizing the hostages. And if you
That's
are,
their
why
opinion,
are you
but that's their
bombing the
opinion.
way
That's your opinion, and that's their
they are
opinion.
protesting the families of the
It
hostages.
doesn't
are
matter.
saying this. Okay, it doesn't matter what the families of the hostages are saying. It matters what Stephen
Well, she'll
is
cut
saying
me.
in the basement. All right. At the end of the day, they are bombing where the hostages are. So if you're prioritizing the hostages, why are you destroying the area where they think that they are?
They don't know where they are.
Okay, thank you. I cut Aguna off the
rest
whole
my
time
case.
you were speaking, Stephen.
I rest my case.
Greg.
Yeah, I'm with Aguna. Those houses are not the priority.
Surprise.
Exactly. That's my brother-in-law. And
Y'all might as well be
also
married.
everybody's quick to, like Steve was quick to bring up about what the Hamas did to Israel.
Yeah, that's what it started it.
No, it didn't start there. You forgot what happened. You forgot what happened. What was going on October 6th. You quickly remember October 7th. But when you sit there and you harass people and you got them in apartheid, and then when they retaliate, then now it's the issue. It wasn't an issue when their people are being tortured and everything every day.
Whose people are being tortured?
The West Bank,
Israel
the Persians in the West Bank.
Yes.
All
And
right,
they want
Cousin
that
Todd.
land anyway.
They weren't
Read
being
history,
tortured.
son.
And it's not apartheid.
Read a book, Stephen.
Thank you.
Know your
Thank you.
history.
Cousin
I know
Todd.
my history, and it's not apartheid at all. No,
Cousin
it's
Todd,
not.
You
It's
can't spell it.
interesting how Stephen said that Aguna and Greg were married. He seems like he's taking a little bit of something out of
Yeah, I took that from Todd. Todd, that's flattery when I take something from you.
Technically, we are. I mean, I think that's a compliment. Thank you. Thank you
Kindred
for
and
recognizing
spirits.
something.
Kindred and spirits.
All right, Cousin Todd.
Yeah, Israel has been taken advantage for years. And Stephen said this himself, but he's a flip-flopper. We were talking about how Israel should not be able to take other people's land. And I said, they keep you, all right. You
No,
did,
I never said that.
But
Israel's not taking anybody's land. In fact, Israel's helping them a lot. The people that are hurting them is Hamas, not Israel. Hamas is what
Israel has
hurt
been taking
Palestinian people.
land for. You can't keep talking, or she's going to throw you off the show. Israel has been taking Palestinian land for decades, ever since that peace agreement was signed, and they designated, which America had no business even getting into that crap, and Europe either. But they designated certain lands to certain people. So Israel got their part, and the Palestinians got their part. And ever since then, Israel has been taking Palestinian land. This is what Ronald Reagan said. This is what George Bush said. These are Republicans. This is what Donald
Not
Trump
George Bush.
Donald Trump should say, but he doesn't. But the point is, Israel has been taking their land, and this is part of what's going on now. And then now Donald Trump and his boy toy are talking about taking the Gaza Strip and turning it into a hotel. This president is beyond sick. Who ever heard of this kind of craziness? And then he relies on ignorance like Stephen and Keith to say, oh, he wants Canada and he should be able to say that's an invasion. Do you know Russia invaded Ukraine? That's an invasion. When you invade another country, that's not allowed.
Thank you, Todd.
And so now Trump wants to invade Canada, our friends, our neighbors.
Can you stay on topic?
Sick.
Can you stay on topic?
Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin are on a highly anticipated phone call happening right now. The two
look at that.
As U.S. pushes to get Russian approval on a 30-day ceasefire proposal in the Russian war. Fox's Rebecca Castor has the very latest from Washington.
It's a somber morning in western Ukraine as President Volodymyr Zelensky visits a military cemetery to pay his respects to his fallen soldiers. Meanwhile, a critical conversation is taking place between the leaders of the United States and Russia that could determine the fate of more Ukrainian troops.
We're getting down to a very critical stage, and we want to get the whole Russia-Ukraine thing done. And I think Ukraine wants it. I know they want it. Everybody wants it.
On a phone call with Russian President Vladimir Putin today, Donald Trump will try to push him closer to accepting a 30-day ceasefire agreed to by the U.S. and Ukraine last week.
What he's expecting, and I don't think he's going to get it, but he wants President Trump to help him up off the mat because he's put himself and he's put his country in an extremely weak position.
The two leaders will also discuss what Ukraine may have to give up, including land and a power plant on the Ukraine-Russia border. But when it comes to the disputed territory of Crimea, the White House is pushing back on reports Trump will recognize the strategic peninsula as Russian soil, with the National Security Council telling Fox News, "We have made no such commitments and we will not negotiate this deal through the media." President Trump says he's considering large-scale sanctions and tariffs on Russia if it does not commit to the peace process. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Thank you. Joke.
Stephen, I'll let you talk about whether or not there will be a ceasefire for Ukraine and Russia.
And finish, and also the land that they're taking.
The first thing is we have a president now that's not pro-war and he wants to end the war, and he's going to end the other war as well because you're going to have to. He didn't start these wars, but he's going to end the wars. And you're going to have to make concessions both ways, make both people happy, both sides happy. Everybody's going to be happy. The war's going to end. And he promised that. That's another promise he made that he's going to pay off on. This is why we voted for him. Because I'm anti-war. That's a big reason I voted for him. He's anti-war. We didn't want this war. And I know you people on here, except for Keith, I know you people on here, y'all are okay with Hamas doing what they did to Israel. That's how much you hate Israel. You're okay with it. You equate that to what you see as a land grab.
Okay, thank you. I want you to finish what we're talking about, Stephen. We're talking about.
Well, Todd went all over the place. Yeah, and I don't care. I don't care what the arrangement. I don't care what the arrangement is. The war's got to stop. Ukraine is decimated. Our media has been lying to us. The Ukraine ain't got nothing left. They're ripping people off. They have nothing. They should have stopped a long time ago, and they didn't. And that little punk Zelensky that came here and didn't sign off when he should have, he got how many more people killed? How many more? He's maybe y'all's heroes. He's a punk, and he knows his whole gravy train is over. That's why he don't want the war to stop. He don't care about millions of people dying. He doesn't care about it. Trump cares more about his people than he does. Which I know y'all are just Putin is not.
What are you doing?
The bad guy. Putin is not the bad guy. Your media tells you he is.
He's made for television.
Stop attacking me and attack Stephen. I'm not.
Why are you going to attack me? I thought he had to shut up when I talked.
I'm not high. I don't take drugs. Get off of me and get on Steven, not me.
No, I don't want him on me. I don't want him on me, Stacey. Don't put that on. Don't put that on me.
No, I know.
Hey man,
He just wants teeth.
His mullet
Teeth
is
and
way too
teeth
tight
only.
today. Your mullet is way too tight today, Steven.
Well, man, let me get my makeup girl to come here and help me with my hair.
Say no to drugs.
Why?
Yeah.
They can be as boring as you.
Because Reagan said so.
No, his wife did.
Thank you.
And she was high as a kite the whole time.
Warning to Iran.
Are we moving on to the next topic? Or are we going to respond to that Iran thing?
I can't. Stacey's a mess.
Responding back to Houthi militants. So far, the largest and most significant military action of President Trump's second term. Trump saying the Houthis have waged an unrelenting campaign of piracy, violence, and terrorism against American and other ships, aircraft.
He don't want war. He don't want war. He don't want no war.
He doesn't want war. He wants to protect our ships. He wants to protect our ships. He's not starting a war.
Israel ships.
Systems. The attacks could last for several days and intensify in
Our
scope and
ships.
scale. A spokesperson for Yemen's Ministry of Health said at least 9 people have been killed and 9 more injured in tonight's strikes, claiming most of the casualties were civilians. The American aggression on Yemen is a criminal escalation that will not break the resolve of the Yemeni people and will only increase their determination to support Gaza and the resistance. Since the Hamas assault in Israel in October 2023, the Houthis have launched more than 100 attacks on vessels in the Red Sea. Trump now warning the Houthis the attacks must stop or hell will rain down upon you like nothing you've ever seen before. And sending a stark message to Iran demanding
war.
in support for the Houthis immediately.
Clearly, the intended audience here was Iran. The Trump administration has made it clear that they want the Iranians to negotiate an end to their nuclear program. And if they don't, there could be military action like we saw tonight directly against Iran.
Yep.
Why should Iran get rid of their nuclear weapons?
Because they threatened to kill you.
The Red Sea. A source familiar with the plan tells me the military action that comes next depends on how the Houthis respond. Selena Wang, ABC News, the White House.
I want you all to stop talking during the thing was still going on, and you guys start talking like the report wasn't going on.
Oh, we thought it was over.
Oh, no,
now, are you telling me? Are you saying that?
Oh, there's your phone, huh? You can't even turn your ringer off. Next.
Your professionalism side.
You have a landline?
Go ahead,
Exactly.
Steven.
That's like a, roll dial phone, man.
Did not push and promote war.
He's not promoting war. What he's doing is defensive. It's defensive right now. What he's doing, he's not starting any war. He's not declaring war. He's not doing anything like. They're letting Iran see the Houthis is just another Hamas, just another Hezbollah. That's all Iran. They're telling Iran if you can't have these little offshoots and think that we're blaming them now because everything that they do, we're looking at you. And we're going to blow up things that are special to you. We're going to take you out. We're going to cut you off at your knees because we're not Barack Hussein Obama. We're not the administration that was running before this administration, whoever was the president then, because they all support Iran. They all support Iran. They love Iran. But when you love Iran, you hate the USA because Iran wants to wipe us off the face of the earth, commit genocide against us. That's what Iran wants to do.
Shut up.
Greg.
Why haven't they?
Yes, ma'am.
We haven't let them. They don't have the nuclear capability yet.
This president is supposed to be a non-war president, but sending missiles to the Houthis in Yemen is
also
it may start. It's like striking a match.
Exactly.
He sent missiles the last time he was in office, but he didn't start a war.
That just
happened.
Biden, no, I'm saying the last time when he was 45, when he was 45, he was dropping bombs too. He didn't start no wars. He's doing what he has to do.
Shut up. So other people, Keith, his boy toy, didn't get a chance to say anything.
I believe in what Steven's saying. Anything Steven's saying, Mo Biscuit, Steven.
He got his hand up. Keith back.
Yeah, up his back or his butt. Oh, well.
I didn't want to say that.
So, Greg.
Yeah, for a president that doesn't, how Steven just keeps going on about he doesn't want war and how he takes care of people. He worry about the people. And if you weren't talking, you would have heard that lady said that those strikes killed a lot of innocent people.
I heard what they said. I heard what they said.
So you can't. So, and I know that MAGA is y'all allergic to facts. So it's really hard to get
don't want that. Alternative facts, which is a hilarious statement. There are no such thing as alternative facts, but they live on them.
Todd.
Oh, good. Here we are.
Todd. No, it was Greg's turn, and you talked all over him.
Oh my gosh.
It's fine. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
We have to keep moving because we're running out of time because
Stacey, I don't get to say anything.
No, because Stephen, she wants to appease Stephen.
She's a Stephen apologist.
Because she's afraid that Angela's going to come tie fire to her.
Angela's on the space station.
Well, guess what? Stephen accuses me of being pro you guys, so I can't.
Well, I mean, this is a wink and a nod. So this is just keep in mind that we make money off these strikes, right? So that FA Hornet built by Boeing, that off that carrier built by Newport News Shipbuilding, off that Aegis weapon system deployed cruisers. So we make money off of war, like it or not, Stephen. So all the money Zelensky was getting,
I know we make money off of war.
In the form of our military industrial complex. So if we rotate the war from the Ukraine to the Persian Gulf, it's the same thing. So at the end of the day, we are promoting war. Now, the question
he's not promoting war. He's not promoting war.
Let me just finish my point before you go all messed head on me. All right. So at the end of the day, all right, if you think that Iran can control the Houthis, which they can't, right? But you're going to hold them accountable. So you're going to strike Iran, which again, they have terrorist cells and all this other stuff. Where are you going with it? Unless you're just committing to wipe out Iran, go into Iran, just like you went into Afghanistan, pulled out and ran from Afghanistan. Where is this going to go?
You did. Biden did.
If you wipe out Iran, you're just going to give rise to another faulty nation like Afghanistan you have in Afghanistan. So in a certain way, we need an evil enemy like Iran so we can have these proxy wars, so we can have all these military things going on. So this is all part of the military industrial complex. So as much as you want to saber rattle and think that this president is going to go in there and destroy Iran, at the end of the day, this is only to get people.
I didn't say he was going to go in and destroy Iran. Iran is going to capitulate, and they're going to be a friend. Iran is going to be our friend. I'm not saying he's going to start a war. He's going to throw some missiles now, and they know he doesn't play. That's why there's not going to be a war started. That's why wars are not being started, because he's going to be tough like that, but he'll talk to anybody. He went in to North Korea for the first person ever that would go up in there. Because you know why? He became cool with him. He can become cool with people. That's what his superpower is. That's what he does. He's not going to start a war because you said he is. Y'all think he is. Your opinion is he may start a war. He's not. I know he's not.
Iran is still developing nuclear weapons.
That's why we have to stop them. We have to stop them. That's what he's going to do.
Demanding 5 things they accomplished in the last week or risk being fired. The emails have been created by the Elon Musk-led Department of Government Efficiency and endorsed by President Donald Trump.
There was a lot of genius in sending it.
But many agencies have been giving their employees conflicting guidance on how to respond, guidance that has still not been cleared up. While this weekend, Democrats warning that Musk may turn to cutting benefits for Americans after he criticized Social Security last week.
So Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time.
Senators quickly responding.
Now, I think what Musk, the wealthiest guy in the world, just said is totally outrageous.
While the changes by Musk's team are still being felt, including at USAID, the agency that handles America's foreign aid, where an official, Nick Heinrich, wrote a memo saying the cuts will, quote, no doubt result in preventable death, destabilization, and threats to national security on a massive scale. He was later placed on administrative leave. Musk's next target, the Department of Defense. The initial review of the Pentagon's massive budget is expected today as protests in response to the cuts across government continue.
We are Rangers!
Thousands gathering at national parks across the country to express their outrage. And in red states nationwide, Republicans continue to face the heat from their constituents. In Kansas, Senator Roger Marshall ended a town hall early to avoid a hostile crowd.
Remember, you got elected from the whole state. I'm going to say this one time. If you all keep cutting me off, if you're rude, which you're being, I'm going to leave.
I'm going to leave.
So what's happening here, Ryan? Let's talk about this.
Yeah, they're paid protesters. They're not mad Republicans in red sections. They're paid protesters. They're paid to be in those places.
Okay, all right.
By who?
So now listen, this is what I want to talk
USA Aid, the leftover money from USA Aid that finances things like that. George Soros.
Wait your turn, buddy.
You asked me who.
And you still didn't answer that. So just
I did so. I said George Soros and whatever's left over from USA
Stop
Aid.
lying. Todd, go ahead.
I'm what?
Lying. Go ahead, Todd.
All right. So I was talking about Social Security, and Stephen and Keith said, he ain't gonna touch Social Security. He ain't gonna touch it. And I said, Stephen, we were talking about your sister and how she was ill, and so she needed these
She's
benefits.
not ill anymore, Todd.
See, you see,
she's not ill anymore. You mean to bring up all of your dead relatives?
We were talking about your sister, and you said she needed these benefits. And I said,
everybody gets them. Yeah.
Can you shut up?
I don't know what your point is.
I know you don't, because you won't shut up. So I said these are benefits that Democrats fight for example, to reduce the cost of prescription drugs.
No.
He said, well, I don't take he said he doesn't take blood pressure, diabetes medication. So he doesn't care about it.
That's not what I said.
You did.
I said you got to do it across the whole board. You can't just make two people happy. You got to make everybody happy. Reduce all of the costs of the medicines.
That takes time, dum. You can't do that overnight.
That's all you do.
Okay, Todd, you can't ask him questions.
I'm not asking him anything. I'm making a statement.
Keep talking. Don't stop, cousin Todd.
I'm not going to talk.
Why are you trying to read when somebody wears a shirt like that?
I'm not going to keep talking because you can't hear what I'm saying. And that's a Republican trick, Tea Partiers. So anyway, I said
Todd always shows the rock and hides his hand.
I said they're going to take benefits from poor people, sick people, old people, and children. And here we are. He's trying to gut Medicaid, which is only for sick people, children, and old people.
No.
And now Social Security. I said these things. No. Shut up.
He's not. You're lying, Todd.
Okay, stop talking.
He's gonna cut the fraud and the waste.
Okay, welcome to Sporlitiks, where sports and politics mix and mingle.
This is nonsense.
Reverend Dr. Pastor Todd, you can't keep talking the whole show.
Okay, I can't. You see,
why would he want to piss off all of the people that are in that?
Stacey, she allows this nut job to go on and on. So let me just say this:
you can't let those.
He's going to cut these things, which is what he's doing when he says, "Oh, there's fraud." That's just only for dumb-dumbs like you. What he's saying is, I'm going to cut it. And then, but you don't care because, like you said, your sister is gone. So now, who cares?
Keith.
Wait, you wanted to talk
yes,
to
ma'am.
Dr.
I might be on Medicaid, Medicare. Is he going to do something to hurt his supporters? He's not. What you're saying is a lie.
I'm
just enjoying
He's
this.
gotten rid of military people.
Right. He's cutting the fat. He's cutting out the fat. You're probably in trouble because you're fat wherever you go.
Okay, Todd, stop. Keith. I know all the tricks. Keith, cutting off Social Security. I think you said you retired. Without Social Security, are you supporting President Trump if he cuts off your Social Security?
Well, first of all, before we say that, well, I'll answer it this way. No, I don't stop supporting Trump. No. And
Even if he
first
cuts
of
your
all, I'd like
Social
to know,
Security, you're dumb.
I'd like to know, because I'm not dependent on Social Security. That's for
It
sure.
doesn't matter. You paid into
So
it. It's not a
I
Ponzi
paid
scheme.
into it.
You
Well,
paid into it. It's your money.
Stop.
Can I finish? Can I finish? I said I'm not
Do you hear
dependent
how she
on.
says that about me, but not Steven?
Yeah, she says it to me all the time, Todd. Well, just shut up.
Let me finish. Let me say, I'm not dependent on Social Security. I'm dependent on the Lord's provisions. However,
Well, that's
Social
dumb.
Security I do get because I did pay into it since I've been 18 years old. So I've been working since I was 18.
So it's not a
I am
Ponzi
entitled
scheme.
to Social Security. But I do agree with Musk. It is a big scam because they've been robbing us of our Social Security for years.
Okay, who
This
has
has
been
been going on for
robbing you of it?
years.
Who's been
And
robbing?
I'm sure that Greg would agree with me because Greg is very
Yeah,
reasonable.
I'm sure I gotta find
So-
a friend somewhere other than Steven. So
All right,
Greg,
let me finish
Greg.
up. Let me finish up. I want to say this about it. Social Security. I challenge anyone to show me a video or any statement Trump or Musk made that they wanted to get rid of Social Security.
They
No,
don't
they
talk
said,
like that, dumb.
Oh, okay. So now knowing that Trump,
They're very
knowing that Trump is the
transparent, and they
man.
show you everything they do. They're very transparent.
Yeah, Trump
Yeah,
is a
after
man
they
of his
do it.
word.
Greg.
Yeah, they're very transparent after
Everything-
they do it. Before we even came on the show, I just saw Elon Musk saying that it's a Ponzi scheme, his biggest Ponzi. He didn't come out and say we're gonna cut it, but for you to bring up and put in everybody's mind like Keith and the thing that
That's why it's a Ponzi scheme. He's helping us.
You're gonna cut it. You're gonna do something to it. It's just like with the Project 2025. They were transparent, but they said, "Hey, I don't know nothing about it."
I don't know nothing
Everything's
about it.
getting checked off on it.
Now, what he has
cut the
said,
fat out. Cut the
Stacey-
fraud.
Now, Greg,
Keith,
he
as far
has
as Social
said that he
Security-
wants to take the tax away. Aguna, you might address this because he
No,
wants to.
not Aguna
we pay
yet. I want
taxes.
Reverend
we
Dr.
pay
Pastor.
taxes on Social Security. We pay taxes after we've already paid taxes.
Okay,
So
Reverend
he wants to eliminate that.
Pastor. Reverend Dr. Pastor.
He wants to eliminate the tax.
Yeah. So the brother Greg who just spoke, he referenced Elon saying that on the show.
Now he's a pastor.
Well, I would have you not insult the pastor on broadcast, sir.
I was just about to say, who's the pastor?
Yeah, please.
He ain't no pastor.
Please,
He's a fraud.
We can't see him because he's like the Holy Spirit. He's like a ghost. That's why we can't see him.
I didn't go to 20 years of theology school for you to tell me I'm not a Reverend Dr. Pastor, Mr. Jones. Anyway, finishing up.
Dr. Feel good.
Finishing up what Greg said, but Greg referenced Elon Musk making that statement. That was on the most popular podcast in the world, the Joe Rogan Show. The clip is everywhere. If you haven't seen the clip, it's like you're walking around blind and trying not to see it. So
They don't want to see it.
We already knew all of this was on the menu. It was part of Project 2025. This is something conservatives have talked about forever. They talk about entitlements. When they say entitlements, who are they talking about? They're talking about you.
No, they're not.
So
they didn't talk about
the fact
entitlements.
that sir, could you allow me to finish speaking? As a pastor, I believe I can at least get a word in. But
That's all y'all do is talk.
Well, it's a talk show, sir.
Don't talk to
Why
the
would you
pastor
show
like
up to
that.
a talk show and accuse people of talking?
I don't know if you're really here. Is it just my imagination?
Okay. So anyway, finishing the point, what has been alleged is, a provable fact. This is something they've been trying to do for a long time. And this idea that you guys are okay with it is so disappointing because you've got this movement that you claim is a grassroots movement, but it seems the people at the upper tier of it steer everything and you guys go along with anything. I haven't seen any pushback from the MAGA coalition where they say, no, we don't want Trump to do that. We don't want Trump to do that. And then go against him. I don't see any of that.
Why don't you address what he actually said?
Sir, can I
He
finish
wants
talking?
to eliminate
Can
the
I finish? So
tax.
you just
He wants
told
to
us the video
eliminate
didn't
Social
exist.
Security
Now that I
tax.
tell you that the video exists, now you want to give me
No, we've all seen the
reference
video.
points.
No.
We've all seen the
But you
video.
didn't see it at
You
It
first.
doesn't
made a
say. It
challenge.
doesn't say he wants to do away with
You
anything.
made a challenge
No.
that nobody could find.
He's
the
not
video.
going to
Now
hurt.
all of a sudden you know all the answers. Okay, thank you for muting
No
up.
one would
I'm
hurt
all
their
right.
own.
Well,
People do it every election cycle.
tell that to all the MAGA people who ain't got jobs right now because they thought it was gonna happen to somebody else. They said, "Oh, he's not gonna cut the job. He gonna cut it for them. He gonna get them out of there." And now they sitting on the sideline crying because they need help. Tell that to all the DEI people that sit around there. They get rid of it. Get rid of it. Then all the white ladies got kicked out and sitting on the curb. They can get rid of DEI. I don't need it because it don't help us anyway. We last on the list in DEI.
Last.
It's white ladies.
That's
white
it.
male CEOs, which I don't know how that happened. They number two. Then you got Hispanics, you got disabled people,
That's
you got
right.
lesbians, you got all that. Black people come in last. So get rid of DEI. All you did was just show me who you are, that you don't care about including everybody into something.
White
That's all y'all
boys
care. All y'all
only.
care about
Hey, Greg,
colonizing.
hold on. Add on to that.
What does that have to do with
Greg.
anything?
In a globalized economy where you're going to be competing against the rest of the world, you're going to need to bring the best of the best. You can't do this favoritism stuff where you decide you're going to push groups forward. Because let's be honest about all of this. Just think about it in these terms. If the University of Alabama only recruited the state of Alabama, they wouldn't be the football team we know. They have a diverse pool of talent. They recruit from the whole country. That's the whole point. So the fact that you don't get that, when we're going to be competing with China, India, Germany, like all these nations in the technological world, we're going to be competing with them. And you want to do this?
So now you're against DEI when the left was pushing DEI. Now you're against it.
Here's the thing, Pastor.
I think you might not understand what I just said because I'm not against
What have they
it.
created? If we look at the big scheme of things, what have they created? Nothing. Everything that made this nation great, Black people have created. You can run that down the list, Steve.
Okay,
and Keith too. You can follow him, and y'all can read that together.
So one of the things,
nothing. Y'all are the kings and queens of mediocrity, and y'all sit around here. You want everybody to be mediocre because when they start, because we know that when we see a Black person,
That's what the Democrats want, man.
No, we know that that Black person bust their ass to be where they are. We got to do 10 times better than them. Just to get yourself.
We're running out of time. Let me get.
I just want to make the point. Don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe because I don't think anyone on here, maybe you did, heard what the Fed said today about interest rates. Right? They made it clear that they're not going to move on interest rates, but they will if the unemployment rate goes up. So what's going on with the federal government right now? You're laying off a bunch of people. Right. The unemployment rate is going to go up because the administrative branch is going to force that. And they're also they're bringing in tariffs in order to create a recession. So that forces the Fed's hands to lower interest rates, which will profit who? So this whole play, we're talking about cutting the entitlements and everything like that. But the play is to control the Fed so that they will lower interest rates so that in a time of stagflation and in recession, a certain class of people are going to be able to take over a lot of real estate holdings. They'll be able to take a lot of, they'll be able to buy into a lot of different markets because money's going to come
holdings into private enterprise. You're going to take
and you're going to privatize the government. Right? To the benefit. So be careful. So I know there's a lot of smoke and mirrors want to talk about, all these other things, but the truth is behind the curtain. Listen to what the Fed said. And when Trump was running on his campaign, he said he should be able, from the executive branch, to be able to dictate what the Treasury does.
No, he did not. No, he didn't. No, he did not. All you do is make stuff up, man.
No, he did.
He did, man. I mean, I pay attention to these things. And I don't think
I pay attention. Keith pays attention. We all pay attention.
He's going to lower it. He wants to lower.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
He wants
No,
to
you
Now,
don't.
this
lower.
ain't my second show, Greg. This ain't my second show, Greg.
And
Don't
I'm
get
still
mad
ahead
because
of
of
you.
This is my
people. I know you're scared of
7,000th
facts.
show tonight. That's why
I
I
know
wore this
you're
shirt.
scared of facts and reason, Stephen. You've shown that you're allergic to facts
Oh
and
no,
reason.
I've got all the facts. You just lie and
Well,
say
the
that they're
fact
not
is you're
real.
wearing an
I
ugly
have all the
shirt.
facts. You just
If
say
you
I'm
decided
lying when I'm
to wear
telling the
that
truth.
shirt, if you decide to wear that shirt, I'm not going to trust you.
You know, but this is an American shirt. This is Mount Rushmore.
Bad
And they're going to put
judgment.
Trump's face on the side when
Listen,
he's
Bad
doing.
judgment.
That's what they're going to do.
Goodwill wants
Because
it
he
back.
deserves to be up there
Goodwill
too.
wants
Because
it back.
everything he said, he's doing.
Goodwill wants it
Do
back.
you
Stephen,
think he's
get it
really
back.
going to hurt the Republican Party and hurt poor people or hurt
Yes.
people in need?
He
Of
only cares
course
about
he's
the
You
not.
have
religion.
I'll
no
tell you
Y'all are
why.
ridiculous.
He's
He don't
leaving.
care
What
about the
they're trying to
Republican
do is
Party.
make life better for all of us and raise all tides.
Stop trying to
These high
simplify
tides
the
raise all ships.
conversation to
That's
your
what they're
level, Stephen.
doing. And if
You're
you've
trying to
noticed everything
simplify
that
the
they've done, you can
conversation.
lie all you want
Thank you.
because you're MSNBC. But
Again,
everything they've done
we're
has
trying
been
to have an
positive
adult
for us so
conversation.
far.
You have to
People have
simplify
lost
the
jobs and
conversation.
people need to lose jobs.
What?
Thank you.
People need to
So,
lose
so
jobs because they're not even at their
let's.
job. They're not even working.
They're
They
not
have
even at their
18 people
job.
doing the same job and
Delaware,
only one
Mr.
person.
Yeah, this
Shut
is
up.
insanity.
Thank you, Madam
So,
Chair.
so
True.
Ranking Member Keating, also wonderful.
These
Chairman,
people need to lose
could
their
you
jobs.
repeat your
Who is this
introduction
guy?
again, please?
Yes, we have set the
Representative.
standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply.
What is that standard, Mr. Chairman? Would you repeat what you just said when you introduced a duly elected representative from the United States of America? Please.
I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Mr. Chairman, you are out of order. Mr. Chairman, have you no decency?
You see these
I mean,
ladies?
I've come to know you a little bit, but this is not decent.
We will continue this.
You
hearing.
will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way.
This hearing is adjourned.
Look at them demons.
Let me play that again. Let me play it again.
I now recognize the representative from Delaware, Mr.
That's
McBride.
a woman back there.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ranking Member Keating, also wonderful.
Mr.
I'm
Chairman,
sorry.
could you repeat your introduction again, please?
Yes, we have set the standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply.
What is that standard, Mr. Chairman? Would you repeat what you just said when you introduced a duly elected representative from the United States of America? Please.
I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Mr. Chairman, you are out of order. Mr. Chairman, have you no decency? I mean, I've come to know you a little bit, but this is not decent.
We will continue this.
You
hearing.
will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way.
This hearing is adjourned.
Now, what was that about?
Choose your battles, man.
Well, that representative, she was elected, but she's
Exactly.
trans.
Exactly.
But they didn't know they were trans when they voted for her.
Yeah.
What are you talking
They
about?
did.
I was making a joke. I was
Okay,
making
wait
a
minute.
joke.
One
She's
at a
such a
time.
good. She's such a good trans.
Okay, one at a time.
Everybody thought it.
One at a
Everybody thought it was.
one at a time.
Everybody thought it was a chick.
One at a time, Stephen.
Get rid of him. Get him off of your show. Why would you allow him to bring your show down?
Just let me finish my.
No, I didn't.
You
call
let
on
you let him.
No, I didn't. I didn't call on you yet, Stephen. Just
I think I'm starting to like his show.
No, he can.
It's growing
No.
on
He
me.
can mouth.
God bless America.
thank you, Keith. Decorum stated
Yeah.
that U.S. House representative who was duly elected in the state of Delaware is transgender and recognizes herself as a woman. And the chair of that committee said, a man. The other member said, no, recognize this duly elected U.S. House of Representatives representative as what they are and what they claim to be. Did he do that correctly?
Well, he followed the orders that President Trump made a statement in his speech, and he said we won't recognize transgenders. We're not going to. We're going to recognize people as their biological identity. So if that person was a biological male, then yes, he followed the protocol the way he should have done it. And I'd have done the same thing. I would have applauded him, and I do applaud him for standing on that.
Okay, thank you, Stephen.
Their own little deal. They had their own little vote and said that's what they're going to do, and that's how they're going to address him. I wouldn't lie and say it was a lady. I'm not going to lie to people, knowingly lie. They know it's a man. So I would probably just say the name. I don't even have to say if it's a Mr. or Mrs. Whatever name they're going by, I think would be polite to use. But don't ask me to lie and say I'm going to go play their little game and hurt myself by lying and say Ms. or Mrs. or this tuna fish sandwich over here. No, I'm gonna say Miss. I'm just gonna say their name because I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or be rude. But just say their name. If his name is now Michael Jackson, then say the Honorable Michael Jackson or whatever. Who cares? But it doesn't have, just keep all the sex out of it. And it's always got to be like in your face. It's not even a good job. I mean, we all know it's a dude. At least put some effort into it, get some training, take some dance lessons, do some yoga.
How long, Stacey? Your show is
go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just messing around. Go ahead. The last part was just all mess.
Yeah, this is a non-issue that made an issue. I agree with a portion of what Stephen is saying. Just say their name, take the gender out, so it doesn't. I mean, they're at the end of the day, you got to get to the people's business, right? So we're getting stuck on pronouns and things that are just becoming making non-issues issues. And I think both sides have done kind of a job on elevating that.
Yeah, Aguna is just as ridiculous as he looks.
I mean, I'm done getting behind issues that don't impact me personally and getting dragged on these things.
Okay, thank you.
I'm like,
Greg.
it's not an issue.
Thank you, Greg.
Okay, so my feelings is this, and I kind of, I don't care how y'all think I look. I feel like if that person wants to practice that or whatever, I don't agree with it. But I'm not going to disrespect. That's why when Keith said he would applaud it, I wouldn't applaud it because you showed a lack of decorum and everything by calling her Mr. when she clearly wants to be called Mrs. All you had to do is what Steve said is just say, okay, we're going to turn it over to the representative from Delaware. And that would have been it.
Oh,
you didn't have to go make a big scene out of anything. But when you are distasteful, purposely calling somebody, now you're trolling. And then it would have been a problem if he would have got up and slapped the mess out of her, because it's still a man, but she want to be called a lady. If she'd have got up and slapped the mess out of you, then what you gonna do?
Well, being a man of God, you're not supposed to lie, and you're not supposed to promote things like that, Greg.
You didn't lie.
Reverend Doc.
If you say Mr., if you say Mrs., you're lying.
You already had your turn. Damn, sit down. Get some water.
This is the favorite topic.
Talking about Stephen. I said ma'am. I didn't say damn, sir. There's no way you could have heard me say a word like that. I would never. But no. Finishing up. This is like a real encapsulation of the GOP. I think Aguna gets it wrong when he says both sides, because one side has taken this small issue and turned it into like a crisis point for the whole country. When all reality,
and the Dems have responded. The Dems responded to it. So yeah, you're right. You're right. I know they did it, but the Dems.
But hold on. But just think about this scenario. This rude GOP person makes the statement and then doesn't have the courage to stand on it. Why not let the meeting continue? You and that person just have a contentious, situation between y'all, but you continue the meeting. You don't adjourn the meeting, bang the gavel, and run out the room after you insulted somebody. Stand on it. If that's how you feel, that's what you want to say, then stand on it, have the meeting, and have the back and forth exchange. But by killing the meeting, you make it into now, like Aguna is saying, you make it into this flashpoint. Oh, see, here we go, we're talking about that again. And in reality, I'm gonna just give y'all some numbers real quick. When they tell you all about how they taking the scholarships away from the kids, dude, there are 500,000 scholarships in the athletes in the NCAA participate in all sports. You know how many of those cases fit the scenario they cry about every day? 10 out of 500,000 students. There are 10 who fit the criteria to where they're trying to push federal bills, make campaign attack ads and everything else. So most of us will never meet one of these people in our lifetimes. But they want to make it seem as if There's one outside your door every day trying to take your Social Security.
They're not in the bathroom
So
raping
this
people.
is exactly.
Have you ever been to L.A., brother?
Ridiculous, man.
Where do you
LA
live?
is
Where do you
LA is gonna
live?
be different. San
Yeah,
Francisco is gonna be
it's a little different
and
down
Atlanta
south.
is gonna be different.
Yeah, I guess so.
Those three places are going to be different. But the majority of people in America don't live in those places. The majority of people will not have those experiences. So
I
even
am
then,
surrounded by
you
it.
just got to admit that this is a grift, and they've used this as a whipping post for the past 6 months, and people keep falling for it.
Just like
But just don't let it happen. Just don't let
abortion.
men compete with women, and it would be no problem. Would be no issue.
You don't hear nothing about
can I just
abortion.
do a
Have
shameless
rules
plug?
that say otherwise. As far
Can
as
I do a
that's
shameless
concerned.
plug? My son won his flag football tournament this past weekend, and the defensive player of the game was Leia, 12-year-old girl.
That's flag football.
So what? You just said compete. It's a sport. It's a sport. It's in the Olympics.
I didn't. Why don't you say golf? Hey, why don't you say golf?
Let's
Why
cherry
don't you say golf?
Tennis,
Just say golf.
Don't say.
Yeah, we don't want transsexuals in golf. Somebody
and
could
then
get hurt.
The other part is I find the most unathletic people are the ones most concerned with this stuff. None of their kids are going to get a scholarship anyway, and they're always mad about this when in reality, it wasn't a trans kid that stopped your kids
Anything
from
that
getting a
hurts
scholarship.
women,
Your
you people are
kid
for.
sucks.
The Democrats are
He's
for anything
slow
that
and
hurts women.
unathletic.
You want to marginalize women. That's what it's about.
Yeah. So Leia,
Y'all are misogynist.
the girl that got the MVP of the tournament, I'm against her for playing in any sports because she may get hurt.
She's 12 playing flag football.
Oh, so it's a case by case basis is what you're
Spell
saying.
misogynist, Stephen. Spell misogynist.
It's saying it's a case by case basis. It sounds like what you're saying. The
They're
situation.
not talking about kids. They're talking about in high school and collegiate level.
They play intramural flag football at all ages, man. So you're talking about a case by case.
But there's no contact unless it's.
Oh, so you're variations of
right. It's talking about It's talking about if somebody could get
to the rule.
Complicated and
But they're not talking about a girl playing. That girl is not going to play. That girl's not going to play in the NFL. They're talking about men playing in sports that women could get hurt.
Intramural high school.
Or they have guys that can swim 20 times faster than a woman. A woman can't beat them. So those women don't get to win, and that man gets to go back in the locker room.
How many collegiate swim meets have you gone to, Stephen? Just quick question. How many have you gone to, and how many have you watched on TV? Collegiate swim meets.
I've been in swim meets.
No. How many have you gone to and watched on TV? Because I want to.
What I'm saying is, that man could not beat 300 men, but he could beat the women. That's not fair to women. You can't marginalize women like that.
Time. Go look at the record. He lost all the time. Go look at the record.
No, he did not.
Okay,
No, he didn't.
This is our roundtable. Excuse me, we're going to start our roundtable. Thank you very much. I didn't know where to end it. You guys have been on.
It's already over, Stacey. It's been over a long time.
Cousin Todd sent this to me, and this is what he wanted to discuss. We'll make this our roundtable, and Cousin Todd will go.
I'm mad at the swim meets that I don't go to in a sport that I've never been interested in. Man, get out of here.
Green was protesting, who's addressed to Congress. And now Democrats want to censure Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert, who doubled down on her dumb comments about Green. Take a look.
For him to go and shake his pimp cane at President Trump was absolutely abhorrent. I stand by it.
My frat brother like that.
Green actually use his cane as a support to walk. If that gold-plated cane isn't a pimp cane, I don't know what is. But maybe hula hoo is really the racist here. Are only blacks pimps? Is that what I'm hearing? Are there no cisgendered white pimps in America?
I know.
We're going to stop that there, and let me show. I have two more to show, and then we'll discuss it in the roundtable. Let me share this.
Contact my office. I'll give you a copy. Of the proposal. That means Congress doesn't vote. Well, I'm glad to see you. No, I tell you, I enjoy conversion.
Lady Elaine.
All right.
Superfly.
Let me show you this one, and then
Superfly.
Todd.
You know, only hoes recognize pimps.
Yes,
He does
true.
kind of look like Superfly.
All right, here we go.
Those who claim that our reform efforts would ensure illegal immigrants. This too is false. The reforms I'm proposing would not apply to those who are here illegally. It's not true.
Okay, cousin Todd, take it away. This is yours.
Okay. Now, did any of those white people get censured?
No.
Oh. But the black guy, the pimp, with that poor white trash called him, which she should be censured for being poor white trash racist. How dare she? And nothing happens to these poor white pieces of trash. But Donald Trump is president. So these people feel emboldened. And just like that coon said, he did look like Superfly. Does your mother look like Superfly? I'm finished.
Okay, who wants to start? Keith, then basically what Todd was saying was this. Only the Democrat got censored, even though the Republicans hollered out disrespectfully in a forum when a president was speaking.
And 10 of those idiots, white ones, backed these Republicans in censuring Green.
Al Green from
Well, I'll give you something better than that. When that white dude was censored when Obama was speaking, the one that you showed, the clip,
He wasn't
where
censored.
he was interrupted by
He apologized.
the Republican who yeah, that was the Republican who
we don't have all day, Todd. Don't interrupt him. This
Wilson,
is
Senator Wilson,
Go ahead, Keith.
Congressman Wilson from South Carolina.
Right. So, you say that he wasn't censored, but he was humiliated by the media, and he was also humiliated, and he came back to the point that he came back and apologized. Can I at least finish? Can I finish, Stacey?
Go ahead.
Can I think that to the point that he actually came back and apologized? Oh, wait a minute. He actually apologized. The other guy never apologized, but he doubled down, and he had he had his cane, and he was ready to kick butt. I mean, anytime you do this, you're doing this to people,
all the Secret
and
Service
you're showing
and everybody,
and he's doing this to the president.
Oh my God, he's a threat.
I mean, it seemed to me like he wanted to hit the president if he'd have been.
Is that your
52-year-old man is gonna beat up everybody?
Put your pimp umbrella down.
Man,
Put your pimp umbrella down. You got a pimp umbrella.
What else does that say? What else does this say?
Umbrella.
Thank
that
you.
Stephen, umbrella won't get you in the white man's heaven.
I know what I'm talking about.
I know.
Yeah, thank you.
You know what you're talking about.
Yes.
The clips that you showed of those white trashers, they were responding to things that were being said, saying that you're lying about this, or that this is not anything near the truth, stuff like that. Al Green, if I'm not mistaken, he was shaking and screaming before Trump ever said a word.
Yeah,
so they asked him, and said, "Sir, can you please stop?" He didn't. He kept on. I don't even know words coming out of his mouth. And I said, "Sir, can you stop again? Can you stop? If you don't stop, I'm gonna call the sergeant of arms." He kept going because you can't hear nothing coming out of his mouth. I don't know. He's just screaming. It sounds like Todd just screaming for no reason. So they said, if you don't stop, we're going to kick you out. So they kicked him out. And that's why he got censored, Todd. It's not because he's black. It's not because we have a racist country that you want everything to go through your racist lens through your glasses. It doesn't work like that. He would not stop. He had to be dragged out by his feet. That's because he was trying to fight everybody. They had to put restraints on him, on his feet, on his hands. All of that's embellished, but really they kicked him out because he wouldn't stop. That's why he got censored, not because he's black. The other ones didn't get kicked out. The other ones didn't get warned, like by Stacey, to shut up. They didn't get warned, but he did, and that's why he got censored.
Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Yeah, nobody got kicked out or nothing like that when the Republicans did it, and they actually started. And it's the attitude that they're bringing, this rudeness, and they can do all this, and then when it happens to them, then they turn into crybabies and want to bring the sergeant arms. But I'm still blame the Democrats, because that's what the Democrats should start doing. The Democrats don't do that. They try to, use some decorum.
Bingo
or whatever.
cards.
They don't. Right. They try to use some decorum. But then the Republicans act crazy. They want to act. As soon as somebody do something to them or say something, I can't believe this was done. I can't. It's ridiculous. And that right there, Keith, what you're doing, trying to appease the other side and trying to make them feel comfortable. That's the problem right there. We keep trying to make them comfortable. Anytime they get uncomfortable or nervous, then that's what happens. But they can do it to us, and then we don't. We just sit there.
Thank you so much, Aguna.
Yeah, they didn't have to do my frat brother like that. You know what I'm saying? They gonna chase him out there. He's an old man. He's a grumpy old man.
An old man.
Keith, you should relate to that. You're a grumpy old man. You got that pimp umbrella. You running around here. Nobody's censoring you. You got a right to be grumpy. You got a right to be old. You got a right to get up there and speak. It's the people's house. I thought it was the people's house. So you had January 6th up in the middle. I thought you could come in there and express yourself.
I have a question.
No, we don't want your question. We don't have time. Thank you.
No, but the bottom line of it is, of course, the party in the majority is going to. The only thing I really took issue with too is when they were removing him. Did you see the visceral coming from the right? They were saying all this. Yeah, I mean, it reminded you of the civil rights when they were taking people out at the lunch counters. Yeah. I mean, they just got all emboldened by the president and just taking this old congressman out of the forum. It was like, it's like, really? And so that image is what he really wanted. He wanted them to kick him out. Because he was like, I'm not going to sit here and let this guy lie for whatever reason. And
he wasn't lying.
The moment that he wanted. So hats off to him. That, again, it's made for TV. That's what the president does. So that's, hey.
All right. Thank you. Reverend Dr. Pastor.
Wasn't even talking.
This goes back to rest in peace to John Lewis. This goes back to the idea of good trouble. The congressman knew what he was doing. This was a disturbance of this situation, and he planned on getting thrown out. I got no problem with that. That was that man saying politically, this is where the party is. You guys don't understand this fight. This fight has to be a little more aggressive and in their face. Completely understandable. Now, when we talk about the other side, though, the thing we have to talk about not only is the lack of decorum, but just the decline of Republican representation. So a Boebert or a Margaret Taylor Greene, they could never be a Republican representative in the 80s, the 90s, early 2000s even. We're talking about the Tea Party, where we see this sea change, where the party is just based on anger, hatred, and who they otherize. And at that point, people like this are valuable because you roll them out there, and now Boebert does 20 interviews about her pimp cane comment, which is like, I guess, racism that's dated. You're talking about pimp canes like this is the 1970s or something. That's your reference to use on this? When in all reality, when you look at it, Lauren Boebert and Margaret Taylor Greene and Joe, what was his name? Joe Wilson from South Carolina. These are people who never could have been Republicans for. It was the party of grown-ups. There was a certain stature those Republicans of old carried themselves with. And whether we agreed or not on supply side economics or free markets or whatever, we could have things that you don't understand.
Babylon.
You can have discussions with them. But when you enter into this new realm where you have people like this who just yell out liar, liar, that's wrong. They don't have any information to back it up.
You're talking about something that happened years ago.
I'm talking about you, actually. So when you talk to these kind of people who represent that party now, you get an idea on how somebody like Margaret Taylor Greene or Lauren Boebert could represent that party, because this is the party of morons now. Rich people and morons. And the morons think them and the rich people are in cahoots. And sadly, they're going to be the ones who lose their Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, and all of the social safety net that they depend on. These are the people who are going to be the most, drastically hurt. I'm telling people now to start buying hospital beds for the front room, because when they cut Social Security, some of y'all mamas going to have to stay with y'all.
And I'm
not
sure
gonna
the
be able
Democrat
to
Party
maintain
are a
their
party
own
of
place.
poor people.
So yeah,
Yeah.
this is a problem. Well, of course, the
Indeed.
other party has wealthy people in it too. Yeah, I'll concede that all day. Yeah, of course.
The Democrat approval rating at its lowest it's ever been at 29%.
Thank you.
Nobody
You
likes
are
anything
first
you're pushing.
responders in our communities. You make our lives livable. Thank you. Thank you.
Place.
Thank you. To the women
You
and men
believe those
of
numbers?
the U.S. military for all that you do in sacrificing your lives so that we are free to say whatever we choose on this show. We are forever indebted. On behalf of Aguna, the voice of reason, he started to dance. Keith, the constitutional conservative. Stephen, the
Goodwill
independent
representative.
thinker.
The independent thinker.
Is hell.
Reverend Dr. Pastor, thank you, thank you, thank you. We hadn't heard from you for a long while. I was wondering if you were okay.
Whereas we need you.
And my cousin Todd.
Yeah, like that pose, Todd. Yeah.
He looks like a bit of honey.
cover.
If he was candy, he would be a bit of honey. That's what that color looks like.
Where does the hat stop? And the
I
beard
definitely
begin?
want to hear what
Where's the
Sigmund
hat stop
Freud
and the
would say
beard
about
begin? It
that.
just blends, Todd. It just blends
You
together.
saw that man and thought of honey. I would like to see what
A
Sigmund Freud
bit
would
of
say
honey
about your
candy.
subconscious.
Bit of honey candy. Oh yeah, he's smooth. Hey, Todd is smooth.
Todd
You can tell you can
That's
say anything you want about
subconscious.
Todd, but Todd is smooth and he's
Right,
fashionable.
excuse me.
He's
Can I
that
finish?
sugar food.
I'm Stacey Johnson. Let's keep this conversation going on Facebook, X, Stephanie Stallworth, the Flow Television Network, Twitch, TikTok at Sporlitiks.com, TikTok at Sporlitiks.com. Check us out on Instagram and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Sporlitiks, where sports and politics mix and mingle since 2011. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week. Good night.
He looked like the back of a book cover. How I Survived.
You look like a ghost,
Right now,
and you're haunting us, man. You look like a ghost. You need to eat a sandwich or something. Maybe you're too skinny. Something's not right about you. Why don't you join us? Don't be scared. We're nice. We're nice people. We might argue every now and then, but we're nice people.
You told 4 jokes in a row and didn't get a giggle. You want to try again?
Pass the moonshine, Stephen. Pass the moonshine.
Hey, Steve.
Ew.
What is that? Oh,
Moonshine. Yeah, that's what I had last week. That's what Greg said. That's something good. I said, well, it's sparkling water, but I like it. All right.
Hey, check this out.
I got a question for Nas. Hey, Nas. Hey, Nas.
Nas left.
That's Reverend Dr. Pastor.
My name is Reverend Dr. Pastor Jones.
Well, no, I will never. I can't acknowledge phony.
Next week, come on as the Invisible Man.
Yeah, I don't acknowledge that. But anyway, I just wanted to say, sir, what do you think of the astronauts coming? You know, we rescued them, man. Isn't that great?
Rescued.
Yeah, the astronauts.
We didn't rescue them.
We didn't rescue them.
They planned them to come back at this time because they couldn't fit them and they couldn't come back earlier.
Right.
No, they could. No, they were stranded, Stacy. They were stranded.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
They were stranded. Stacy, they were only supposed to be there for 8 days. They were only supposed to be there for 8 days, Stacy.
Okay, so
Y'all
let
got to
me-
stop watching The View. Y'all got to watch something besides The View.
Todd, that's Todd, that's
Open
not
up
me.
your eyes and
Well, you don't think they were stranded, Stacy? They were stranded, and Elon saved them.
All right, let me finish. Can I make my point?
Yeah, please
I
let
work
her
for
finish.
NASA, and United States brought a Russian Soyuz spacecraft so that in an emergency, no one or none of American things will be stranded at the International Space Station that we built. We took from a 1-bedroom house to a 5-bedroom, 3-car garage space that United States taxpayers paid for. So they're never stranded. What they did was they just made arrangements for them to take a later bus.
No, Stacy, that's so 100% off the.
Do you know this happens all the time?
That's not right, Stacy. They were stranded there.
They weren't stranded. They had missions go to the space station.
They were supposed to be there for 8 days and gone. They weren't supposed to be there.
They were, but there was a problem on SpaceX. There was a problem.
Right, there was a problem. Why didn't your NASA go pick them up, Stacy? If they're so great, they couldn't. Elon Musk had to go get them
Can I tell you
because
why?
they were stranded, and NASA couldn't get them.
Can I
They didn't. No, Stacy, because NASA didn't postpone this to say they'll get them later because NASA didn't get them. Elon Musk got them. Elon Musk got them.
Elon Musk's spacecraft took them up there. That's how they got up there.
Now y'all tell me how you create solidarity with a person who believes anything you say is wrong, and whatever raggedy source they find is right.
Hey, Pastor, check this out. Last week we had a discussion.
They have even said
George Floyd, and he said George Floyd died. And he said the autopsy showed that he died from an overdose. That was so untrue. There were 2 autopsies done. These are facts. 2 autopsies done. One of them did show that he did have fentanyl in his system, but both of them said he died from asphyxiation. So he did not die from an overdose. Like you put out those wrong facts last week and said
he died of fentanyl. You're not telling the truth.
I can't tell you nothing.
But no,
you're not telling the truth. Wait, it's coming up right now. They're in fact they're gonna lower the.
Show me.
They're gonna lower the punishment.
If you can show me the autopsy, I'll give you $1,000 if you can show me an autopsy, because there was only 2 done. Show me an autopsy.
Yeah, the autopsy said it was a fentanyl.
Okay. Stop looking at Fox and stop listening to Tucker Carlson, because those are the only 2 people put it out. Like I said, I'll give you $1,000 if you can show me the autopsy that said he died from drug overdose.
Not gonna give you $1,000, Greg. He'll have to
come back next week. Come back next week.
I'll be here all week. I'll be here all week. You don't have to wait till next week. If you find it tonight, call me.
Hell, I come out to South Carolina. I like it out there anyway. I'll come bring it to you.
I'm in Georgia. So.
Oh, I thought you were in South Carolina.
No.
Nah, man.
I'm in Georgia.
You said last week something about South Carolina, didn't you?
Once again, you get facts wrong.
I thought you said something about South Carolina last week.
I root for Georgia for everything. See, you don't listen because you fuck.
No. I thought we must have talked about South Carolina last week.
I'm sure he's gonna tell you lying in a minute. And
no, I'm saying it. I was gonna say Georgia at first, but I thought you said North Carolina. But you remember last week I was definitely ill last week.
You got it
wrong. No, don't start no excuse. No.
Hey, I won't get all the oxygen to my brain.
Oh my God.
Find the autopsy.
All right. That'll work.
Drinking Fireball.
Hey, we only do facts on the show.
It's the official drink of the
I don't argue with facts because facts.
I just wanted to say to Nas, off the record, I just wanted to say to Nas, I had to say that, Nas. I didn't mean any disrespect. I just said the scripture teaches me to beware of false prophets. So I know you are a false prophet.
Then why are you following Trump?
Trump.
You're a
Yeah,
false prophet.
He's just acting like a man putting on a dress. He's just acting like a reverend.
What's so funny is what's so funny is Keith calls Nas calls anything out of God. And Keith is just eating it up like, Nas, can I ask you this?
He doesn't know who Uncle Ruckus is.
Let me ask you, Nas. Now, Nas has called Keith anything but a child of God for years. But here comes Keith. Nas,
accusations. I've been nothing but nice to this man.
Nas coming.
Well, I respect Nas.
You called him Count Chocula.
I respect him as Nas. I'm not gonna. I know everybody knows he's a fake. I mean, I'm not gonna. Why should I even? So I know that he's Nas. I know he's Nas.
You like Nas,
and that's why he never gets the carrot. He gets the stick. I gotta hit him upside the head.
That's
Don't know how to act.
He
seems to be confused about a lot of things. So it's rough, man. I feel bad for him. More than anything.
I will never see. I won't be deceived by that. That's all I'm saying.
Todd has the nerve to be laughing at me, and he only gets his news from The View, just like Steven said.
Yeah. Well, Steven is right.
Stacey,
Everything
you should answer the phone. You should answer the phone for Keith. He should not be allowed to answer his own phone or email, because I feel like scammers could just make a living off Keith and Steve. Like, these are the most gullible people I've ever seen in my life.
We just tell the truth. People tell you lies and you believe it. People get paid millions of dollars to lie to y'all.
That's
Keith
right.
and I tell you the truth for free.
Well, I just told you the truth. You find that autopsy. How about that?
All right, I will.
I have given you your assignment.
Died of a drug overdose.
I say, what difference
I
does
have
it
given
make?
you
Really?
your assignment.
He died because it made a difference because they gave them the excuse to destroy this country for the whole.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
country.
See you
Destroy
next
this
week.
country.
Thank you for coming on the show. It was a great show. Good night.
All right,
Thank you.
everybody.
All right,
Thank you,
guys.
everybody. Stephen,